Hi folks, welcome to your latest mwis planning outlook in association with Ellis Brigham. We'll be dragging in the air from the southwest over the next few days. That will bring some much milder conditions as the air has its origins in the subtropics, but with that as well comes quite a bit of moisture, and a slow-moving front will produce some persistent falls of rain, especially in western Scotland. Fairly high pressure is in the outlook as we head onwards through the weekend and beyond, but we're not quite shaking off the remnants of some areas of showers over the Atlantic, but there is some decent dry weather in the outlook. Now, we've got a gap in between weather systems on Wednesday, so one of the better days of the next few. Tuesday's weather system clearing away to the east over the North Sea. Still a windy start to the day, particularly across more eastern regions, even gale force on the Pennines first thing, but that will drop, and quite a lull across the Highlands in particular, but the wind will then turn to the south and strengthen from the west as we head into the evening time as the next Atlantic frontal system moves towards us. So a dry, bright, sunny day will gradually give way to some building high cloud from the west and some rain coming on to western Scotland and West Wales as well by the evening. In terms of temperatures, it's one of these funny sorts of days where values will continue to rise even into the evening and the night as that warm front comes in. So what will have been a chilly start to Wednesday, only just a degree or so above freezing on many hills, will end the day heading for double figures as we go towards midnight into Thursday. Let's just run the sequence through from Wednesday afternoon as cloud builds and some drizzly rain comes on to the west coast of Scotland later in the afternoon. That turning more persistent here into the evening time, some rain reaching West Wales as mentioned as well. If we go onwards overnight in 3-hour steps, that rain becomes more extensive and heavier across western Scotland, spreading to much of Scotland through the night, and some rain and drizzle across western hills of England and Wales as well. As by this stage we're all being dragged in to that more humid tropical maritime air mass coming in from the southwest. It leads to a rather poor day into Thursday as a conveyor belt of a front runs in across Ireland into western Scotland for some persistent and heavier falls of rain at times across western mountains, and some persistently damp conditions at least across the western hills of England and Wales, and some steadier rain even coming into the hills here on that southwesterly wind for periods. A little bit less in the way of rain further north and east across the Highlands, relatively more sheltered from that southwesterly flow, but this whole frontal system is still going to be around into Thursday evening and night and producing some further damp conditions into Friday as well. There's how that looks on the synoptic chart for Thursday, that long trail of a front coming in on that southwesterly flow. There's quite a marked increase of wind speed with height, up to gale force on the higher mountains through Thursday, quite gusty in places through passes, and some powerful gusts locally just to the lee, the north or the east of some of the higher summits, especially in the Highlands. A much milder feel to things then through the day, but across many western hills, not a particularly pleasant one. Best of any sunshine then toward the eastern side of the Pennines and around the Peak District. That same ripple of a front is hanging around then into Friday, just nudging northwards by this stage, so some rather drizzly damp conditions across some Irish Sea coastal hills in the morning will tend to fizzle out as higher pressure starts to build northwards, some brighter conditions developing a bit more widely across England and Wales, and feeling quite warm and quite humid with that flow of air still coming up from the south, and the rain in western Scotland also tending to shuffle its way northwards as time goes on. So around Loch Lomond may be a brightening up picture, and that may well improve a bit further north with time as well. Towards the Cairngorms, also a generally drier story, but a bit of drizzly rain will be around at times. The legacy of that front still hanging around into Saturday. Fairly high pressure has expanded across the country, but still some drizzly rain, maybe something a bit more showery just occasionally around that front across the Highlands, not really moving too far too quickly, so west of northern Scotland could still struggle a bit during the day on Saturday. A few pockets of drizzly showers on some western hills elsewhere, and some low cloud possible at times around West Wales and the Lake District, but some brighter and sunny spells coming through occasionally as well. We just need to see exactly where that front is settled by this stage in terms of just how extensive any low cloud is by this stage. It's still then quite a mild picture, most places seeing fairly light winds, northern Scotland still a rather brisk southwesterly flow. As we go into Sunday, it looks as though the main centre of high pressure is going to lie just to the west of us, and a cold front eventually starts to clear southeastwards across Britain. Not much left on it, maybe just a zone of cloud, a few spits and spots of rain drifting southwards over England and Wales in the morning, some brighter skies following, some cloud breaks towards higher tops. For Scotland, a stronger, cooler westerly flow is in, with a few showers passing from west to east through the day, most frequent around western coastal hills where showers could be a bit more organised for a time, and then temperatures are just that bit cooler compared to previous days. Now, the general story for next week is all dependent on exactly where high pressure is positioned. On balance, it's a reasonable week, but early in the week, at least, there'll be a few showers around with that west by northwesterly flow, and the wind may be rather brisk for a while as well. Temperatures quite cool as we head onwards into Monday, a chance that even higher Scottish tops may be close to freezing point for a day or so. And that generally cool feel, I think, will be around until the middle of the week, and where skies are clear overnight and there's light winds, may even be a touch of frost in some of the Highland glens and sheltered valleys elsewhere across England and Wales. High pressure then is going to be around for much of the week, so a decent amount of dry weather and some brighter conditions in the forecast with some sunshine and cloud breaks to many higher tops. Later in the week, it may just be that high begins to shuffle its way a bit further eastwards and allows in a milder southwesterly flow, perhaps eventually allowing some further weather systems to come back in off the Atlantic. But for many places, for the week as a whole, some decent dry weather is in the forecast. Some improvements ahead. We shall keep an eye on those details. That's your planning outlook for today in association with Ellis Brigham. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.